In states that follow the community property framework, property acquired by either spouse during a marriage is generally presumed to be community property, meaning both spouses share an ownership interest. But sometimes other statutory presumptions might apply, as in Estate of Baer. Irene and Reginald Baer were married in 1936. Shortly after they married, Reginald opened a private checking account in Irene's name. Reginald didn't control the money in this account, and Irene used it at her discretion. Over time, Irene deposited nearly $6,000 from prizes she won in newspaper contests into her checking account, and a separate savings account in her own name. In 1941, the Baers opened an account in Irene's name with a stock brokerage firm, at which Reginald also had an account. Reginald and Irene used the money in Irene's checking account to purchase securities for Irene's brokerage account. The Baers deposited dividends received from Irene's stock holdings into a joint account or used them for current cash needs. Irene died in 1945. At that time, her brokerage account contained certificates representing 7 different issues of stock, all in Irene's name alone. As administrator of Irene's estate, Reginald filed an account of the estate's property and a petition for distribution with the Superior Court. Reginald alleged that all the property was community property and requested distribution of the entire estate to himself. Irene's parents objected on the ground that the stocks in the brokerage account were Irene's separate property and that they were therefore entitled to half of those stocks. At trial, Reginald testified that he'd handled all the stock purchases for Irene. He also testified that although Irene could do whatever she wanted with the money in her checking account, he and Irene hadn't considered those funds to be Irene's separate property. Finally, Reginald testified that he intended the stocks to be community property and that he had purchased them in Irene's name so that if he were to die before her, she would have access to the funds immediately without having to wait for probate. The Superior Court ruled for Reginald, finding that the stocks were community property. Irene's parents appealed to the California Court of Appeal.